Greetings. See, the way I work, this is Black Light. Allah's 24/7. The reason why I named it Allah's 24/7 because the Caucasian works 24/7 around the clock to condition and brainwash you and use white supremacy on you. And the brothers, they don't think like that. They preach a little bit, go home, teach a little bit, go home, and party a little bit, but your enemy, he's constantly working around the clock to suppress and oppress you using media, using any kind of thing he can use, propaganda tools. Propaganda is not evil or good. It's just a tool to use to inform or mentally promote your agenda or whatever it is, So YouTube is not being used properly by our brothers and sisters. They using it for a job to make money, And so we don't network like the Caucasian network with each other, man. They NBC network, ABC network, CBS network, Fox network. I mean, these brothers is networking constantly. They scientists, man. They not, communication is a science, through music, that's communication, So they got brothers locked down on the music, man. And they control the music industry. Brothers don't have, you might have your own record label. You might have your own studio or something, but distribution, they got distribution locked down. YouTube is a form of distribution, distributing music and communication and concept. So you gotta learn how to use it for our benefit. And brothers, they're not using it for the benefit of the whole black nation. They using it for their own personal benefit, and that's why you got all this confusion. We're not working together in concert, and just like for example, black conscious brothers, Sinetta. Now Sinetta got a hell of a format. Now he could have stretched out and been global. I mean, like a really black news. He could have been all over in Africa, all over in South America, everywhere there's black people. He could have been there, but because the brothers didn't buy him no van, he started debating because it was getting him money. That's why Polite and young Pharaoh and General Seti ain't with him no more. Well, this sister here is over in Africa. Now check how they roll over there.
African leader was taken on the streets and killed. What are you going to do as African Union to get some teeth in the defense processes of the continent? That's the first question.
I'm glad you asked that question. And if the truth be told, the African Union was not pleased with the manner in which the UN Security Council voted to take out Saddam in the manner that they did. The African Union had a plan. President Zuma of South Africa, had already accepted him for asylum. Plans were underway to talk to Gaddafi for him to move to South Africa. So yes, the decision to take out Gaddafi went against the wishes of the African Union. We wished things had been handled a little differently. You're quite right. I think, but when you're coming up against more powerful forces, again, it goes back to Africa taking its rightful place on the world stage. But AU was clearly opposed to the manner in which Gaddafi was taken out without a plan for replacement, which is what led us to the Libya that we have today.
My second question, black racism on white. I've seen farms being taken over by Mugabe forces, the ZANU-PF people. What is the African Union doing to, when we talk about racism from Africa and we bash colonists and we actually are doing that to their citizens right there, what are you going to do to recompensate and rehabilitate those citizens who have been there for 4 generations, 5 generations? What is African Union going to do for that?
Okay, I like the fact that you're putting a timeline there. See, with history, we have a tendency to say, well, let's start the story from here moving forward. But let's not talk about the story going back. In Zimbabwe, you have to say, how did we get there? Let me take 1 minute and summarize it for you. When the British came to Zimbabwe, they analyzed the country and divided it into 4 regions. Region 1 was the best soil, the best rains, best conditions for farming. Region 2, pretty close to Region 1. Region 3, there were some areas there, the soil was not so good, and the rain was good, but not the best. Region 4, no rain. The soil was horrible, mosquitoes and sesaflies. So they set out a plan. If you were an adventurous British, a veteran of the First or Second World War, you were guaranteed 2,000 hectares. Hectares, multiply 2,000 by 2.2. You're guaranteed that much in Zimbabwe, plus any loot from the local people. So a British man would land in Zimbabwe. So based on the regions that they had decided, they were going to move all the black people, preferably from the region 1 and 2 to region 4. So the process started. And how did a British map up their land? You got on a horse, they'll tell you this region. Get on a horse and you ride in one direction for a day until either you or your horse were tired. You put your peg. Tomorrow morning you do the same thing.
Yeah, now that sister was Sister Arika. She said 2 things. Arikana. She said 2 things that I want to elaborate on, and that was you see how they got the African Union over there. You know, now SETI, General SETI, he always wanted somebody to go to Africa. I don't know if he got a connect over there or not, but he don't never show that he got a connect over there. You know, he don't never communicate with any brothers over that way. You know, then you got another thing she said about the land, about how we don't go to the root. We don't go back far enough. The guy asked the question, he said, reverse racism. And then he said that they taking land from the whitey. And so she said, well, shit, we've been over here longer than them. They took land from us. You know. They set it up so they could just, like they did over here in America, how they did it to the Indians. They just started taking stuff, you know. And so it's the same game all over the planet with black people. And then you got brothers trying to divide us up. You know. I mean, we got the same problem over there we got over here. Same thing. But we don't recognize us as that. That show you how short-sighted we are. You know, we let the, guy come, the whitey come and divide us up. And some of them fell in love with him, and can't see how he's systematically killing us. Now here you got Sinetta. Young Pharaoh came on his show first. Now here they are talking about Hassan, the beef. Sinetta talking about Hassan. Now, Sinetta used to be a warrior, you know, or he was trying to say he was one because he was with Dr. Khalid and the new Black Panthers. Now, you know, he done changed on the brother. Quick change artist, you know. Now he talking about Hassan, like a soap opera, man. Like a big old soap opera. Days of Our Lives, you know, The Young and the Restless, and all them, man. He done turned his powerful format, and New York is the center, man, of black thought. You know what I'm saying? And he done switched over to some stupid stuff, you know. Now, myself, I think the enemy came on him and offered him gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. You gonna do it like this, or we gonna take you out, you know. And so that's what I believe happened. And Hassan and all them, all them brothers is faking. You know, and nowadays ain't no time to be sneak. You can't keep nothing from the whitey anyway. You know, you gotta come straight at him and let him know, I'm not playing with you, man. He ain't gonna play with you. You know, he ain't gonna play with us. Like I told y'all, in my neighborhood, over in Detroit, on the west side, we was trying to go to. I went to Mumford. On our first day going to Mumford, a group of us came. It was about 5 of us. We came to school. They had a white motorcycle gang blocking the entrance. They wouldn't let us in unless we fight our way in. But we didn't play. We ran them away from over that side of town. They had to go to Oak Park or something, Southfield. I'm gonna continue this. Catch the vibe. Don't go nowhere now.